Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Installment of Scott Selections here for Monday, June 6th. For today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. A couple ways to go through, so I'll go through them quickly. Starting off with the good news, we had a nice winner with the YouTube play of the day video with Igor Shesterkin over 30.5 saves at -120 on DraftKings. That cashed in the second period, so complete a rocking chair winner there. However, the NASCAR video did not go well, went 0-4 for negative 1.5 units on that one. So overall, went 1-4 for negative 0.67 units. Look for a winning day here on Monday. And for the play today, we're going to go back to hockey, looking at Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals between the Avalanche and the Oilers, taking place at around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this play, we're going to take the Avalanche on the road on the money line at -125 on Fox Bet. Time recording of 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like Colorado to complete the sweep here. First reason, the Avalanche have dominated the series up to this point, as they have won each of the first three games. And it's really not a new story because the Avalanche also dominated the regular season meetings. The Avalanche have won 5 of the 6 meetings. And if you look at the main reasons why the Avalanche have been so successful against the Oilers, it's because the offense is really good and Edmonton's defense is not. Colorado has scored at least 4 goals in each of the first 3 games in the series. And if you want to look at the shots on goal numbers, they are pretty lopsided. Colorado has recorded at least 10 more shots on goal in each of the first 3 games. And when Mike Smith is the opposing goalie, you're not going to have a good time because Colorado has been able to really keep Mike Smith, in check. And we know Mike Smith is capable of giving up a couple of soft goals. We saw that happen in Game 3, and the game-winning goal was relatively soft. But even when Mike Smith plays well, he's always a threat to give up a very savable goal, and that seems to have been really just the story of the entire series for Edmonton up to this point. But if you want to talk about some other factors here, we have some injury news to go through. You have an injury to Nazem Kadri, who's going to be out for the rest of the series. However, the reason why he got hurt was a cheap hit by Evander Kane, and Kane has been suspended for Game 4 as a result. Now, Evander Kane and Kadri, I think, are pretty similar players in terms of talent. However, if you want to talk about the impact to their respective team, I think that Kane's the more valuable player because of the fact that Colorado has more scoring depth, and Edmonton has really relied on 2 guys the entire season with McDavid and Draisaitl, and Kane has really come into his own in the postseason up to this point. But with him being out, Edmonton is back to relying on 2 guys, and Draisaitl is pretty, let's just say, limited because of the injury he's dealing with. He's been battling a leg issue for pretty much the entire series, and if you watch him play, he really cannot move. It looks like he's moving at about 50% speed, and with that being the case, I do have some question marks about Edmonton's offense going into Game 4. Now, McDavid, we know, is the best player in the league. He's one of the best players I've ever seen, but Colorado's done a pretty good job of keeping him in check. I know he did score in Game 3, but if you look at his overall numbers in Games 2 and 3, for the most part, he's been kept in check. And with Edmonton lacking a lot of quality scoring options around him, I don't think Edmonton's offense is going to fare too well in this game. Now, Colorado's offense might, because, of course, you still have McKinnon. You have a lot of other guys, Rantanen, for example, and we've seen other guys on Colorado step up throughout the entirety of the series. Edmonton, we really haven't, and I feel like the Kane suspension is going to be a big deal here, and I really don't trust Edmonton's offense against Colorado's defense. I don't trust Edmonton's defense against Colorado's offense, and Francouz has been much better than Smith up to this point in net. So even though the Oilers are at home, and you can argue that they're going to try to avoid the sweep, people thought the same thing in Game 3 when it came down to home ice advantage mattering and how Edmonton would treat it as a must-win game. But Colorado's just the much better team. And -125, I think, is a pretty absurd line based on what I've seen up to this point, which has been basically one-way domination. But if you're going to give me -125 with the far superior team, with the deeper overall roster and the better defense, I'm going to have to take it. Because Edmonton, I respect the fact that they've made it up to this point, but I think it's been made abundantly clear they are not a very good hockey team. And unfortunately for them, they ran into a juggernaut. So the play of the day, once again, here for Monday, June 6th, they're going to be on the Avalanche on the money line at -125 on Fox Bet. Bye, everyone.